Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened yesterday and where the hell we are today?
Well, yesterday we read Ezekiel Chapter 22.
Sure as fuck did.
And in that chapter, God was mad at the Israelites again and was mad that they are murdering people and have idolatry. And he was mostly mad at the leaders, though.
Yeah, well, he started the chapter mad at the people, but then he's but let me tell you a thing. And then he was it's the leaders.
Yeah, the leaders of the pack.
The leaders of the pack.
I had to. I know.
I
had to.
You fed me.
I did. So yeah, he was mad at them, and his answer to them being bad and murdering people and all that is to murder people.
And all that.
So
speaking of the begats.
Yeah, right, yeah. So that was Ezekiel chapter 22.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Ezekiel chapter 23.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are hopping into Ezekiel chapter 23.
All right.
And here is what it goes. Ready?
Here is what it goes.
It goes like this.
Is this English?
Honestly,
what happened there?
I expected you to correct my Ezekiel.
Oh, I should have. I meant to.
And then you did it, and I was so...
So yeah, we're in Ezekiel chapter 23.
My gabber was flasted.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted. I was gobsmacked.
Yeah, flabber-pasted. I don't know.
Befuddled?
It's just what came to my head.
I was befuddled.
Okay.
All right, Twitter-pated. I win. All right, listen.
Yeah,
listen, ready?
Yep.
I know you're going to be surprised at this, but the word of the Lord came to me.
Did it really?
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Son of man.
You mere human.
You fucking worm. There were 2 women, daughters of the same mother. We also like to call those things sisters.
Yes, that does often get referred to that way.
At least half sisters.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They became prostitutes in Egypt, as you do.
Sure. They got the big dicks out there, so.
That's what I hear. That's what they said in that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Engaging in prostitution from their youth.
Okay.
You know how they do.
I guess.
Those fucking whores. Right?
Sure. I mean, that was a pretty common practice. Still is, actually. Yeah. Pretty common practice. So
I think we should just slut shame all around.
I think that's what the Bible does. It's not what we do.
No, I'm decent. Never mind. I'm a nice person. Sex work is real work, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. In that land over in Egypt with the big dicks, their breasts were fondled and their virgin bosoms caressed.
Okay.
So
wait, they're virgins still, but they're prostitutes.
Hold on. Their breasts and their virgin bosoms.
Okay.
Aren't bosoms breasts?
That's what I thought, yeah.
Well,
is that wrong?
Bosoms. It's your chesticles.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. Bosoms are chesticles.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So their breasts were fondled and their virgin bosoms caressed.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what that...
Okay. Maybe they had 4 boobs.
That's what happened.
That's what happened, yeah.
Yes, they had 4 boobs.
Right.
Half their titties were fondled, the other half were caressed. The older sister was named Ahola, and her sister was Oholiba.
Okay.
And those words mean, one of them is tent, and one means tent is in her. My tent is in her.
Okay. All
and these sisters are representing Jerusalem, and I forget what the capital city is of the
Jerusalem?
I just said Jerusalem.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know,
okay, so they're representing Jerusalem and the capital city that is...
Okay, so you know how Jerusalem is the capital of Israel?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, it's the capital of Judah.
It also is.
Okay,
sure, yeah.
But the other sister is the capital of the other one. Israel.
What is the other one?
We've got Judah and Israel, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I thought we haven't been talking about Israel as a whole in a long time. Okay, but
now we're talking about both of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And how they're sisters. You know, one's a little bit older than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
And these girls represent those cities.
Got it.
With the cities with the titties. Ah. Okay. They were mine.
They were, okay.
God, sure. Not Ezekiel.
They were his.
And gave birth to sons and daughters.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Aholah is Samaria. That's the one I was trying to think. And Aholibah is Jerusalem.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Aholah, Samaria, engaged in prostitution while she was still mine. That whore. And she lusted after her lovers, the Assyrians, warriors clothed in blue, governors and commanders, all of them handsome young men and mounted horsemen. Yeah. She gave herself as a prostitute to all the elite of the Assyrians and defiled herself with the idols of everyone she lusted after. Like firemen, you know how that's a thing? Like women lust after firemen. Did you know that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, there goes an Egyptian horse rider and there goes a fireman. And she's like, I lust after them.
Yeah.
She did not give up the prostitution she began in Egypt when during her youth, men slept with her, caressed her boobies, and poured out their lust on her.
Poured out their lust. So they came on her?
I think that means they came on her.
Okay.
They poured out their lust on her.
Yeah.
That's what I would take that to mean.
Yeah.
So they came all over that bitch.
I guess that's what it sounds like.
Okay. Therefore, I, God, delivered her into the hands of her lovers. I was like, here, whatever.
Have her. Yeah.
The Assyrians, for whom she lusted, they stripped her naked, took away her sons and daughters, and killed her with the sword. You know, the way they do. Right?
Yep.
She became a byword among women, and punishment was inflicted upon her.
Okay.
So that did not end well for her.
I guess not. But
it's a city, not a girl, so.
Right. And ultimately, it doesn't end up ending well for Jerusalem either, though. No. So, I mean, none of God's people does it end well for.
Ever.
And he still talks about bringing them all back, right?
I know. I will never forget, though, I've already quoted this where there's one Jewish lady that was like, can you choose someone else?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so her sister, Aholibah, so the younger one. Jerusalem. Right. Saw this. Yeah. She saw what happened. Yeah. Yet, in her lust and prostitution, she was more depraved than her sister. I like how we don't talk about how all of the mans are...
Right. It's never the man. No. It's always the woman.
It's fine
Whenever
for them
we're talking about someone being led astray, it's always a woman.
Yeah.
Always.
Like, she is enjoying sex just fine. She's a whore and a piece of shit. All the men that are fucking her, all the different ways, they're fine. Whatever.
Do you remember, was it back in Isaiah, I think? I don't know. It was a while back, but they were talking about the men walking the straight path and the crooked paths.
Yeah.
And every time they walked the crooked paths, the honey-lipped vixens led them astray. It wasn't the man's fault. It was the woman's fault still. Yeah. Even though the man was going astray, the man was still being led astray by a woman.
Yeah, because men are not in charge of their dicks because they are monkeys.
Right.
Is what I'm getting out of this.
I feel like if the woman has that much power over men, maybe they should be in charge.
Probably.
If you cannot control... If you want to be in charge, you have to be able to control the women. Dick. The women. No, the women.
And your women.
Right? Yeah. And I'm not saying that you should feel that way.
Right.
I'm saying that if you think you are better, then that shouldn't be a problem.
It sounds like you're not very strong, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you're kind of weak and piece of shit.
It sounds like you're a monkey, though, honestly. Like, your dick is in charge of you, and you are just led, like, wherever it's pointing, that's what you do, because you can't help it.
Right.
And women are strong, and you're weak.
Yes.
That sounds like you shouldn't be in charge of the world.
Correct.
Okay. So anyway, she was even more depraved because she liked it even better.
I don't really buy that because I feel like it was equal, if anything. Like, the way they talked about the Israelites outside of Judah, they were way more depraved earlier on than anything they ever brought up with regard to Jerusalem.
Sure.
Because Jerusalem kind of became like God's favorite pet after
that is true.
After the earlier Israelites kind of went away, you know?
Well, she too lusted after the Assyrians, governors and commanders, warriors in full dress, mounted horsemen.
Always the mounted horsemen.
All handsome young men. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah.
I saw that she too defiled herself. Both of them went the same way. But she carried her prostitution still further. We're going to talk more about how disgusting a whore she is.
Okay.
All
right.
She saw men portrayed on a wall, figures of Chaldeans portrayed in red with belts around their waists and flowing turbans on their heads. All of them looked like Babylonian chariot officers, natives of Chaldea. As soon as she saw them, she lusted after them and sent messengers to them in Chaldea. So wait, she was gross because she was grosser than the other because her lust included the Chaldeans.
Right.
What?
But this is still symbolism for Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gathering here is that whatever was happening at that given time in Jerusalem was so bad that they felt like they should reach out immediately to Chaldeans to have something change. Right. Which we even talked about that probably Jeremiah was one of those people that reached out to them, right?
Yes.
So even one of the prophets maybe sort of at least felt like they might be one of those people that reached out. So you're talking about one of your main prophets of your Bible possibly is one of these fucking people that you're referring to as a whore. Right. Right? And lusting after the Chaldeans and everything like that. Yeah. So this doesn't really work well for me here. Yeah. Because I feel like it's just convenient phrasing of all this.
I'm like, oh God, you spelled it wrong. Yeah. You used wrong words. You didn't have their work checked against each other.
Right. And we've run across that
multiple times.
Yeah. And the more
specifically with Jeremiah and Ezekiel.
Well, and I know to listen for it now. Right. I know to listen for these inconsistencies in the Bible, and there are just so many of them. They're all over the fucking place.
And these are not something that's probably going to pop up in our contradictions because it's not like spelled out specifically. It's just like you had to have read it and known it.
Yeah. Well, and we're extrapolating information that like maybe isn't exactly canon or taken that way by apologists.
But it sure as fuck sounds that way.
But it could be. It could be. Yeah. Right? And you could interpret it the way we're thinking about this and say, that could be the way this went.
You mean like in a realistic historical context
sure.
instead of a magical hooey context?
Yeah. The only thing I really feel bad about is that I feel like we have these same conversations literally every chapter. Yeah. Because these same things happen all the fucking time.
Yeah. So sorry, guys, that we're repeating ourselves, but it's not our fault. We're reading the Bible.
I mean, if we weren't here to call out the bullshit, we wouldn't have to say all these things, but we do.
It's true. So, it's true. So anyways, this whore, right, that went after the Chaldeans?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Babylonians came to her to the bed of love.
The bed of love, huh?
And in their lust, guess what they did?
They had sex with her.
They defiled her.
But she called after them. What exactly constitutes defiling?
I don't really know. Oh,
is
maybe
that when they lose their virginity,
or is that when they fuck on their period?
That could be also. Is it just sex? Is defiling sex outside of marriage?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Degrees of defilement. After she had been defiled by them, it must have just been sex.
Okay.
Right. She turned away from them in disgust. She was like, ugh, Babylonia, barf. Yeah. Get out. Right. He was like, can I stay over? And she was like, no, leave.
Right. I just wanted to, have sex.
And he's like, can't we snuggle? And she was like, I said, go. I have nothing for you here. Get. Right. And he was like, can I wash my dick off? It smells like pussy. And she was like, what you can do is shut the fuck up and leave.
Right. Yeah.
When she carried on her prostitution openly and exposed her naked body, I, God, turned away from her in disgust. Why were you watching them fuck? You nasty. You a peeping Tom, God. Just as I had turned away from her sister.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should watch people have sex unless they are both, like, into it.
I mean, to be fair, he did say he turned away from it, so.
But
that's why he turned away from it.
It already happened.
Right, yeah.
He didn't turn away till after.
That's true. He did. This is God talking hypothetically, right, through Ezekiel.
Yeah.
And he described the whole scene. So he did watch the whole. The funny part to me was that he was describing the men that she was lusting after, and it almost sounded like a porn description. Mm-hmm. Like the flowing red, blah blah blah, and
in the
whatever.
love bed, the bed of love. He came to her. He came on her.
Somebody should write an Ezekiel Chapter 23 porn novel, like dime erotica novel. Yeah.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
I would read the fuck out of that, and I don't even read erotica.
I think we have somebody that does
I think
some
we
of that.
do.
So that's one of our.
I think we got some fanfic
people. Yeah.
Writers up in here.
Should totally do that.
You know who you are, friend.
Yeah,
and
we'll promote it for you if you publish it.
You can definitely, if you don't want your name on it.
Yeah,
you can definitely anonymous under our name.
Right.
But yes, highly recommend. Please do it.
We'll write a foreword even.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yet she became more and more promiscuous. Ooh, she liked it.
Okay. All right.
As she recalled the days of her youth when she was a prostitute in Egypt. Remember when I was a prostitute in Egypt and I was having all 4 of my titties rubbed?
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
And then I got fucked by the Chaldeans and the Babylonians. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Good times.
There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys.
Wow.
What? This took a turn.
This is the Egyptians, I'm assuming, because we talked about the Egyptians having those enlarged, genitals at one point.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So whose genitals were like those of donkeys and whose emission was like that of horses.
Damn.
What the fuck? This took a dark turn.
I mean, I don't know if it's a dark turn.
I did not expect.
But it's definitely, this is getting into some, pretty, the imagery is very porn. This is porn.
Do not understand why we are talking about donkey dicks and horses' dicks coming. That are 2 items that I never imagined, never pictured ever.
This is a book that Christians want to be kept in schools. I just wanted to say that out loud. I want to read this at a motherfucking PTA meeting, right? And at a library book banning. Yeah, no, this is crazy. I'm going to read it again. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses. Yeah. That man was hung like a donkey and came like a goddamn horse. Yeah, he did. Honestly, I don't even know what that means. Does a horse what is their cum like? I've never seen a horse come, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I haven't either. That's why I'm like, yeah, I don't really know. Whose emission? I've seen them pee. They pee for a really long time. Do horses have a lot of cum, or do they have a hard cum, and then it just sprays across the yard and puts a hole in something? We'd have to ask somebody that knows a lot more about horses. Because I don't know what that means, honestly. I'm just wondering, is it a lot or is it powerful? Or is it a powerful and a lot? I honestly think that maybe we have delved into the arena of talking way too much about horse jizz. Probably. I mean, I'm just saying, that's my personal opinion right now. I didn't bring it up, I don't know. I was reading the Bible. I was innocently reading the Bible. There I was one day just innocently reading the Bible, and they started talking about fucking cum out of a goddamn horse. Yeah. No, that's that was unexpected. I was not expecting that. That was caught me by surprise for sure. Yes. Okay. Wow. Okay. Whew, we still got 20 more verses and stuff to go. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder what else we're going to find in here. I mean, got some real treasures up in this nut. Yeah, I would try to imagine how much worse it could get. But in the Bible in general, but I worry that I wouldn't go far enough. Because how do you top horse jizz? I really don't know. Okay. I really don't. In a Bible, no less. Yeah. In a Bible. In the Bible. This is the Bible. That we want to teach children the morals and the stories from. I want to make sure that this is the page you turn to, moms. Right, yeah. Moms and dads, mostly moms. Yeah. Let's be honest. Right. So you bitch, longed for the lewdness of your youth. Yeah.
when in Egypt your bosom was caressed and your young breasts fondled. All 4 of your titties were getting rubbed.
Right. But the bosoms weren't fondled this time?
No, they
Just
were.
the breasts? Oh.
Your bosom was caressed and your young breasts fondled.
Oh, okay, so they got all 4 this time. Okay, all right.
All 4 of your titties were rubbed.
I was just making sure.
Yeah.
I want to make sure they
She
had
was
it right.
like, oh, I sure wish this horse wasn't coming inside me. I miss the days when all 4 of my titties were being rubbed, and that was the worst of it.
Sadly, I'm producing an image of what this porn movie looks like in my head as we're reading through this, and it's kind of disturbing a little bit. So.
I'm really sorry that I'm being so over the top ridiculous, but I have to be honest. I'm a little bit embarrassed, and I don't know what to do with this. So I'm just trying to play it off whatever. I'm cool. I
mean, did you really I think we say something along these lines all the time too, but. Did you ever think that the words horse jizz would come up as we were reading the Bible?
I mean, no. Okay, I read the notes for this, so I knew that we were going to be talking about 2 sisters, right?
Yeah.
And I knew that those 2 sisters represented the 2 capital cities.
Sure.
And I knew that they were going to be called whores and whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
That was the extent of my knowledge.
I literally knew nothing, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, I was not prepared for this, and I honestly just don't know. I don't know what to do with it. So I'm trying to just be funny, but I'm really kind of befuddled and Twitter pated.
Right. Yep.
Therefore, Aholibah, this is what the sovereign Lord says.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to talk to the girl who got jizz on her.
Yeah.
Okay. I will stir up your lovers against you, those you turned away from in disgust. And I will bring them against you from every side.
Oh, so when she went and fucked the Egyptians, he's like, you turned your back on the Chaldeans. You remember how you kicked them out of your bed? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go get them. They're gonna come fuck you up now.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you for that, God.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say no. After I said yes, I'm not allowed to say no.
So this was all just whatever.
I mean, you're mad that I said yes. Then you're mad that I said no. And no means yes, and yes means no. And basically, I was always going to get fucked.
I do have a question, though. If we're talking about, this is symbolism, right?
Yes.
For Judah and, what was the other city?
Samaria.
Samaria. So
Jerusalem and Samaria.
Yeah. So this is symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need to know about horse semen or large dicks? That gets a little too specific in my mind for symbolism.
You want to know why? Because men wrote this.
Okay.
The end.
I feel like they lost the thread on the symbolism and they just went straight to the fucking sex. That's all.
Because men
I had to point that out because it doesn't really track with a symbolic message.
Yeah.
We just went straight to the sex.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
Because they don't know how else to call the city disgusting except by saying, oh, what's the most disgusting thing we know? Whores and donkey dick.
Okay. All right.
Those are the grossest things. Let's put those together. Yes. It's all coming together now. I'm going to plot this out. I need to get my index cards out. Oh, you know what? You said donkey dick, but what if we do horse jizz?
Right. Yeah.
Right? Those are 2 separate things, but cool. I'm good with this. Keep throwing it out. Let's go. What else you got?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. How about instead of 2 boobs, she has 4 boobs?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah? I don't know.
Yep, I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, he's going to bring those guys to you, okay? The Babylonians and all the Chaldeans, the men of Pekod and Shoa and Koa, and all the Assyrians with them.
Mm-hmm.
Handsome young men, all of them governors and commanders, chariot officers, and men of high rank, all mounted on horses.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
They will come against you with weapons, chariots and wagons, and with a throng of people. They will take up positions against you on every side with large and small shields with helmets.
Okay.
I will turn you over to them for punishment.
I feel like this is you were just in this there's no need for it, but you're still doing it.
I'm in erotica land because everything, every word here has a double entendre.
Yeah, sure.
And they will punish you according to their standards. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. I will direct my jealous anger against you. Because how dare you fuck them? You should be fucking me.
Right.
says God.
Well, that's what God's all about, right? Is jealousy. It all comes down to jealousy in the Bible with regard to God. God is jealous. You're worshiping other idols. You're visiting other cultures.
You're polishing their knobs.
Yeah, you're doing
shining their
anything
swords.
other than what he wants. If you do those other things, he's going to kill you.
You're not on your knees before me.
Right.
Yeah.
Only I can defile you.
Yes. Fear the Lord. They will deal with you in fury. They will cut off your noses and your ears. What?
That's not
gross and weird.
Yeah, that's bad.
And those of you who are left will fall by the sword. You know, You're going to die. You're either going to get your shit cut off and die or just die.
Right.
Which do you prefer?
And eventually he'll say he's just going to scatter some of them.
Scatter, smother, cover.
The ones he didn't kill.
In donkey jizz.
Right.
They will take away your sons and daughters, and those of you who are left will be consumed by fire. So I'm going to
remember how he was going to melt them last chapter?
Yeah.
That was a really kind of disturbing imagery, the way he described that with the metal and everything.
It was gross. It was very gross. They will also strip you of your clothes and take your fine jewelry, just gonna rob you, whatever.
Yeah.
First I'm gonna strip you, then I'm gonna rob you. Whee! Right. So I will put a stop to the lewdness and prostitution you began in Egypt.
Got it.
By stripping you and taking your goods. That's how I will stop you from being a whore.
Got it.
What? That's not how that works.
Right, yeah.
You will not look on these things with longing or remember Egypt anymore. Well,
okay.
How'd that go?
Yep.
For this is what the sovereign Lord says. I'm about to deliver you into the hands of those you hate, to those you turned away from in disgust.
Did they ever say that they hated them?
I just wanted him to get out of my bed.
Right.
I needed to clean the sheets. OMG.
What do you want her to do? The guys over in Egypt had fucking horse dicks,
I don't know what to tell you. They will deal with you in hatred and take away everything you have worked for. They will leave you stark naked.
Oh.
And the shame of your prostitution will be exposed.
What if she's not shameful of it?
Right? Like, what if, hear me out, she liked to have sex?
Right. And what if the only shame is actually you putting that shame on her?
Because I have to tell you a secret. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Some girls like sex.
No fucking way. You're kidding me.
I know somebody who is a girl who likes sex.
Seriously?
Yes.
I can't fucking believe it.
She likes it a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what she's not embarrassed about?
What?
Sex.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to embarrass her.
Sure.
Because it's not my story to... Wait. It is... What?
Is that your story to tell?
It's my story to tell.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God. I'm a girl and I like sex.
Oh.
What? And I'm not ashamed.
Right.
Hashtag not ashamed.
Yeah.
Okay. Your lewdness and promiscuity have brought this on you because you lusted after the nations and defiled yourself with their idols. Yeah, I did. I rubbed myself raw with them.
I mean, right? Like they do feel like they're just sex toys, right?
Yes.
They're defiling with the idols.
Pre-battery dildos.
Yeah.
The
way they always talk about them anyway.
I was like in the movie that Emma Smith was just in. Oh, what was it called? Oh, fuck. Pretty. No, not Pretty.
I got nothing here. So.
Well, it was the one with Emma Stone. Yeah. And she it was like Frankenstein and Barbie had sex and had a baby.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was so great. Poor Things. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Emma Stone, but it's Emma Smith. Is it Emma Stone?
I have no fucking clue.
It's an Emma, and it's the girl that was in La La Land. Anyway.
Okay. I think that was Emma Stone, actually.
Okay. So in Poor Things, this girl discovers joy.
Okay.
By accidentally rubbing herself out.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And then she says to the maid, I've discovered how to be happy. And the maid's like, what? And she goes, here, let me show you. And she grabs her crotch because she's like, don't we all want to show each other how to be? It was so innocent.
Yeah.
We all should want to be happy, right?
Exactly.
And the maid was just like, oh, like, absolutely not, you lewd thing.
I mean, it's one of those it's one of those problems with society, right?
Yeah.
That we can't be more open about what sexuality is.
I'm not saying we should grab each other's crotches and be like, I will show you.
No, but it goes to another point that I learned when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I found out that if you can see over a bar in Europe, apparently in a lot of places you can drink, right? Mm-hmm. So there's not as much stigma with regard to drinking in Europe as there is in the United States.
And without a stigma.
And there's a lot less alcoholism also in those places because there is less stigma attached to those practices.
Exactly.
So it's interesting how acceptance and being able to talk about a subject will lessen the effects on the other side of that are bad.
It's almost like if you teach about safe sex in schools and pass out condoms and explain how to use them correctly, that doesn't actually increase sex. It actually decreases pregnancies.
Right. You know how, remember, adults always like to tell us when we were younger, honesty is the best policy, right?
But they're lying.
They're lying. They don't fucking be honest with you. They don't tell you the things that you should know. They don't tell you anything, and they lie to you your whole fucking life. Only then they also guilt you saying that honesty is the best policy. And we're like, wait, what? You probably should have told us that, all this stuff was just you being prudish fucks.
Right.
And not actually the truth. But no, you lied to us instead.
It's the boomers.
So, whatever.
Most boomers.
It's more than just the boomers. It's a whole culture.
It is.
It's why we're doing this podcast. It's the culture of religion, essentially, that causes a lot of these ideas.
Like, I just want to walk up to random Christian women and be like, it's okay if you have sex. It's okay if you don't have sex.
Right.
It's okay if you enjoy sex. It's okay if you don't enjoy sex.
Sure.
It's okay
all of the above are okay.
It's okay if you never want anybody to touch you ever. It's okay if you want to touch yourself. It's okay if you want to touch somebody and they want to be touched. And it's okay if you want them to touch you, whether they are a boy, girl, or anything in between.
That's right.
But let's not do children or unconsensual or animals, because that's gross.
Correct. Yes.
All of the above is gross.
Agreed.
Okay. So anyways, girls.
Yeah.
Okay, you have gone the way of your sister, you hoe bag, so I will put her cup into your hand.
Okay.
Her diva cup?
Which cup?
Do you know what a diva cup is?
No.
It's a menstrual cup. Do you know what a menstrual cup is?
Yes, I know what a menstrual cup is.
It's a plastic device you fit inside you, and it collects your menstrual stuff.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So, I'm aware.
So is that the cup you put in her hand?
I don't know. I'm curious, but that sounds like a question for a Q&A. Like, what is that cup? Why? What's the significance of that cup?
They were about to play football, and it's a groin protector cup.
Is that what it is? I don't think that's the case because they're both, in this symbolic message, they're both women. So
it's not a sports cup, and it's not a menstrual cup.
Right.
Okay. It's just a cuppity cup.
I guess, yeah.
This is what the Sovereign Lord says. You will drink your sister's cup. A cup large and deep. It will bring scorn and derision, for it holds so much. You will be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, the cup of ruin and desolation, the cup of your sister Samaria. You will drink it and drain it dry and chew on its pieces.
Sounds like the cup is filled with like all of the guilt and wrongness that the other culture did. And it's supposed to symbolize this whole... This is the sin of that other culture, and I'm now giving that to you to drink.
It's a Pandora's box, but it's made out of styrofoam because he's telling her she's going to chew on its pieces.
Right, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And you will tear your breasts. All four of them.
Tear your breasts.
All four of them.
Yeah.
I have spoken, declares the Sovereign Lord.
I'm
glad he told us. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Therefore, this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Is it?
Ready?
I'm ready.
Since you have forgotten me and turned your back on me, you must bear the consequences of your lewdness and prostitution.
Okay.
You said that already.
You did.
The Lord said to me, Ezekiel.
Right.
Son of man.
You mere human.
You fucking worm.
Right.
Will you judge Aholah and Aholibah? Then confront them with their detestable practices, for they have committed adultery, and blood is on their hands. They committed adultery with their idols. They even sacrificed their children, whom they bore to me as food for them.
Why is he telling Ezekiel to confront Israel when Israel is already long gone?
Is Samaria not there no more? I don't know.
Well, it's not. I guess they are still there, but they're already not. God doesn't accept them as his people. So, like, why would you be confronting them at this point?
Well, he is definitely wanting him to confront Jerusalem.
Sure, and that's what most of the confrontation has been about thus far. But, like,
Right.
I'm not understanding the dropping back to, like, why are you confronting both groups?
Like, why are we even talking about Samaria and
Right.
Israel at this point, honestly?
Yeah.
They have also done this to me. At that same time, they defiled my sanctuary and desecrated my Sabbaths. On the very day they sacrificed their children to their idols, they entered my sanctuary and desecrated it. That is what they did in my house. So just as bad as killing their children, they came into a temple. Those are equal.
Those are equal.
Equal bads.
Right. Probably more so, like, because if they were actually part of another culture and doing the sacrificial rites for children or whatever, he probably wouldn't have given two fucks.
Right.
But as his people, and then they came into his temple, his home, and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, okay, to be fair, let's not sacrifice our children. That's gross.
Yeah, definitely not.
So I am kind of with him on that. No child sacrifices.
And we've covered that most of the times that we talk about it. Yeah,
stop killing kids.
Don't kill kids. That's not right.
They even sent messengers for men who came from far away, and when they arrived, you bathed yourself for them, applied eye makeup, and put on your jewelry. You dressed up for that, man.
Yeah.
You sat on an elegant couch. Okay, I'm not going to lie. When I was reading, my eye had accidentally scooted ahead a little bit. And at first, I thought that word said cooch. But it did not. It said couch.
Got it.
So I read it correctly, but I had to share since this is so grody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a cooch.
Okay.
You sat on an elegant couch with a table spread before it on which you had placed the incense and olive oil that belonged to me.
Did you mean to say it that way?
I did.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah. Olive oil.
Yeah,
shit like that on your cooch.
Yeah.
The noise of a carefree crowd was around her. Drunkards were brought from the desert along with men from the rabble, and they put bracelets on the wrists of the women. They put bracelets on each other at the Taylor Swift concerts.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I bet that was a lot nicer than what's happening here.
They handmade them like little friendship bracelets.
Yeah.
And everybody brought them to exchange in the crowd. It was like a big thing.
Yeah, that sounds nice. This sounds rapey.
Yeah, they put wrists on. Oh, I'm sorry. They put wrists on the bracelets. They put bracelets on the wrists of the women and her sister, and beautiful crowns on their heads.
Okay.
They dressed them up good.
Got it.
Okay. Then I, God, said about the one worn out by adultery.
Oh.
Ooh,
okay.
He was hitting both sides.
Wait,
is that
the one worn out by adultery?
The second one.
Oh, okay.
You know, Jerusalem.
Right. Got it.
Now let them use her as a prostitute, for that is all she is.
Oh, so yeah, this did get rapey.
Yeah, that's gross.
Not cool.
I don't like this at all.
Right. I mean, the symbolism, whatever.
It's past symbolism.
Fuck the symbolism. The fucking symbolism is stupid anyway.
It's past symbolism. Like, he's describing erotica and pretending that it's symbolism.
No, they're
fantasizing rape and dressing it up as poetry.
That's essentially what's happening, yes.
And they slept with her. As men sleep with a prostitute, so they slept with those lewd women, Ahola and Aholibah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But righteous judges will sentence them to the punishment of women who commit adultery and shed blood, because they are adulterous and blood is on their hands.
So you're going to commit them to a sentence, but not before you let them be raped.
Yeah, definitely.
And the sentence is probably death, I'm assuming?
Or more rape and then death.
Sure.
And the men are fine to do that because we love when men rape. We love it. It's
in the Bible,
so fun.
In the Bible, it seems that way.
It's fun for men to be rapey, and it's also fun for God to be murdery.
Especially when somebody has sinned. Like, when you...
well, then you brought it on yourself.
Like when you have sex on your menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
That is definitely worth being raped and murdering you.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yes.
Is that the message that God is trying to deliver?
That's what I'm getting out of this.
Okay.
And also horse jizz.
Yep.
On the cooch. Mm-hmm. This is what the sovereign Lord says. bring a mob against them, and give them over to terror and plunder.
Mm-hmm.
The mob will stone them and cut them down with their swords. They will kill their sons and daughters and burn down their houses. Mm-hmm. So I will put an end to lewdness in the land. Is that what you'll do? That all women may take warning and not imitate you.
It's funny that throughout all of human history, these practices, lewdness, idolatry, prostitution, mm-hmm. They continue to happen without actually ever stopping. Mm-hmm. So there was never a time when God stopped any of this stuff.
It's almost like there's no such thing as God, or that if there is one, he's not very fucking powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Puny God.
Well, and moreover, like, this is just, like you said, it's men writing their wishes. This is a gross... I know it was the time, right? But these are women are subjugated during this time. It's not a good time for humanity. Like, this is not a good look for us.
This is the fucking darkest of dark ages.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not down with this whole message that's in here.
Here's the thing. Yes, it was the times, and we could leave it there, right? Except this is how they want it to be today.
Right.
That makes it not just the times. That makes it contemporary.
And Christians tell us constantly how the Bible is still relevant and applies to society today.
And this is what they want to do to people like me. Whee!
Right, yeah.
Okay, no thank you.
Yeah.
You will suffer the penalty for your lewdness and bear the consequences of your sins of idolatry. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Lord. The end. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, God can fuck right off with all that bullshit.
The Bible can fuck right off.
Yes.
Honestly.
The Bible can fuck right off. God can fuck right off. Anybody who advocates anything as being correct or right from the Old Testament can fuck right off.
Yeah.
It's not, this is not good. This is not good. This is not a good way to treat your people. It's not a good way to
treat your neighbors.
Look on people with regard to their practices, even when it comes to the killing of babies, right? That does not mean you get to just flat out murder somebody for doing that. There's still a process that you do with regard to bringing people to justice. And even at that, I am not for capital punishment myself. So there's still a discussion, even with the worst of the worst that happens in the Bible, as to what should happen to that person that does those things.
Well, here's the thing. He is acting like the worst was not the death of the children. That was one of the bad things.
No, it was the entering the temple afterward.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I can't believe you turned to all these other idols. Like, that's what he's really pissed about. I mean, yeah, and you killed your kids and you had a lot of sex and stuff too.
Yeah.
But he's really, really pissed about the other idols.
Yeah.
So that is so fucking disingenuous to even mention that you're pissed about the child sacrifice.
Right.
If that is not the first thing on the table that you're pissed about, I have no respect for you. You are nothing to me.
Right. I agree. Okay. So that was Ezekiel chapter 23.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that tomorrow we will be back with
Ezekiel chapter 24.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.